So he's a 16-year-old kid. He's in this world. It's called Alegaesia.
I pronounce that different.
Well, that's how it looks like it's supposed to be in the pronunciation guide.
Oh, I don't have patience for the pronunciation guide.
Alegaesia. All right, welcome back to another episode of David and Gabby's Book Club. I'm David. This is my wife, Gabby.
Hey, everyone.
And this is a podcast where we hang out, chill out, talk about books and book-related topics. So what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to review the inheritance cycle. So that's Eragon, eldest. Oh, goodness. Brizinger.
Inheritance.
Oh my goodness.
We're doing this at bedtime, and we are not night owls. Like, it's already our bedtime, and it's like 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So the episode's going to be reviewing all 4 of them at one time. We're going to start spoiler free, and we're going to go through like why we read Eragon as adults.
Yep.
Just that story. We're going to go into a spoiler-free review, and then we will have a very clear distinction when we were going to start spoiler talk.
And then we're going to just talk all the spoilers and our thoughts about specific things in the inheritance cycle. Hey, so really quick, editing this entire episode, it was kind of long for my taste. It was over an hour and a half. So we split it up into 2 different episodes. So this entire episode is going to be spoiler free. So there's not going to be any spoilers. You don't have to worry about that. It's just talking the review and why we read The Inheritance Cycle as adults and our thoughts as adults. But the next episode, that will be all the spoiler talk. So if you're a big fan of Eragon, The Inheritance Cycle, and you just want to hear the spoiler talk, that'll be the next episode of the Book Club podcast. And it'll be linked in the description whenever that's posted. So back to the show.
All right, let's get into it.
Sweet.
So do you want to tell the story of why we read Eragon this last year?
Yeah, so if you watched it's probably 3 weeks ago at this point. 3 episodes ago, I think.
Like that.
We talk about our story of how we got into reading, and just long story short, we were on social media a lot. I was on social media a lot. Gabby,
I was too, maybe just a little less.
Yeah, but you being on social media didn't really bother me.
Yeah, but you being on social media did bother me because we were in the same place physically, but we were not.
It drove Gabby crazy.
It did.
So long story short, we're on social media too much, and we decided to replace social media on our phones with the Kindle app and with books. And starting out, I really wanted to read Dune because that was the big popular thing at the time.
Because the movie were coming out,
and people were talking about the book, and I just couldn't get through it because it was a hard read because I just didn't read very much. Mm-hmm. And so Gabby was like, you need to start with something small, something easier to read. And she loved Eragon growing up, and she kind of wanted to read them again. And so she took that as an excuse to say, hey, let's start with Eragon. And that's what we did. And here we are. Now I'm a reader now.
Yeah, so been reading consistently. I mean, both of us have I've gotten back into reading. I had kind of gotten away from it a little bit for like a year and a half now. Almost 2 years. 2 years this summer.
Yeah, 2 years this summer. I think it was like June or July. It was July.
Yeah, so this was really the series that kicked us off.
Yep, for this stint of our reading journey. So
yeah, so it kind of holds a special place in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and another kind of special note is I read these growing up, but I forgot a lot about what happened in them.
Oh yeah, when we were reading it?
Yeah. I remembered some things, but I forgot even how the series even ended. And so now I'm just worried about my memory. Like
I mean, to be fair, you hadn't read it since like, did you even, you brought it to college. Did you read it in college? Or was it?
No.
So it was like a long time since
I guess
you read him.
I probably would have read it like
in
middle school? Probably middle school.
Yeah, so
like 2008-ish. So I guess it has been
that's
a while, but I don't know. It was fun because it was a little bit like reading them for the first time.
Yeah.
Even though I was familiar with the story.
That's 15 years from Like,
I feel so old. Wow.
so granted 15 years between reading a story, you'll probably forget stuff.
Right, but I feel like I should have remembered the big stuff that I forgot. There were even some characters that came in that I was like, whoa, I forgot about them. Like, so that was kind of fun. And yeah.
I guess the other thing I forgot to mention was that one of the reasons why she recommended Eragon as well was, one, she liked it, she wanted to read it again, but also it's very similar to The Lord of the Rings in terms of it has orc-like characters, it has dwarves, it has elves. It's a magic-based system, very similar type of world, and I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So that was another reason why she was like, this might hit home with you. It's like a Lord of the Rings style story and world, but is not Lord of the Rings style writing in terms of Lord of the Rings is also very hard to get through, which I did read that last year. So that was I want to say 1.5 times reading it, because
you've never finished the series.
I never
right?
finished the series. I made it like halfway through The Return of the King in college, and then I just took a long break and never got back to it.
So was it a break? Break implies you come back, babe.
Oh, I came back this year.
From the place that you broke off?
Well, it started as a break.
I think you could just say that you stopped. It wasn't a break.
All right. I stopped. I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
I will say I really love The Two Towers. That's probably my favorite book, which is weird, but it's true.
Why is that weird? I feel like your favorite movies is The Two Towers. That makes sense.
That was the one I was obsessed with in middle school. I don't know which one's my favorite. They're all great.
Okay, anyways, that's not what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the inheritance cycle. So that's why we read them.
Yep.
And we also read them together, like at the same time.
Yep.
So it was fun to see where we were and like kind of spur each other on, because there was a point when reading the second one, Eldest, that I was at the end of the book and I was like, David, where are you at? And he was at the very beginning, and I was like, what's happening?
Eldest is rough.
You blew through Eragon.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. But Eldest was rough.
Yeah, but I feel like because we read this together at the start, I think that helped both of us finish it. Yeah, and it made it more enjoyable.
And it was more exciting because we got to talk about it with each other, and it was exciting for you to talk about it because you had forgotten a lot of it, and it was exciting for me to talk about it because I had never read them before. I never read them as a child. So as a kid, I never read them. So I read. I don't remember what I read.
Okay.
Anyway, so if you don't know what Eragon is about, is basically Eragon is he's like 16 when he starts out, right?
I think so, yeah.
So he's a 16-year-old kid. He's a farmer, and he just he's in this world where it's called Alegaesia.
I pronounce that different.
Well, that's how it looks like it's supposed to be in the pronunciation guide.
Oh, I don't have patience for the pronunciation guide.
Alegaesia, I think is what it is pronounced it.
You pronounce it Alegaesia.
Alegaesia.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably right.
There was a lot of things where we read through a lot of the words and the names, and then we saw them in the pronunciation guide, and we're like, what?
Or we would pronounce them different.
Yeah.
Like if I would ask you about something, you'd be like, what? I was like,
oh yeah. Anyways,
what do you mean what?
Anyways, it's the country is Alegaesia, and there's this king, ruler, emperor type thing, Galbatorix. And he is the last of the dragon riders, and the dragon riders they kept peace and justice in the galaxy. Sorry. The dragon riders basically kept everything safe in Alegaesia. There were hundreds of them.
They were powerful.
They were powerful. Dragons would basically choose the rider, and from there, the dragon rider would basically inherit magic from their dragon and be able to channel magic from their dragon into the world and stuff. The magic system's really cool. We'll get into that, but basically those are dragon riders. There used to be tons of them. Then Galbatorix basically just everything went extinct and he destroyed everyone. And he's the only one left, but he has 3 dragon eggs. Long story short, Eragon, the 16-year-old kid, just stumbles upon a random dragon egg and it hatches for him and chooses him as his dragon rider. And so this whole story is basically a coming of age type of learning how to become a dragon rider in this new dragon riderless world and just growing up in that adventure.
It's a classic tyrant king.
Yep.
Rebellion to take down the king.
Yep. And
story and how Eragon kind of gets wrapped up in that rebellion.
And he's kind of a big deal because the dragon riders are the heroes of the world and they went extinct. Nobody knows where they're at. And now he's one. And so that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and it's been built up for like 100 years, right?
Yeah, something like
These
that.
eggs have been waiting to hatch for like 100 years, and then now this random teenager
is now a dragon rider.
Yeah, and so a lot of hope is riding on him.
Yep.
You already mentioned that there are dwarves in this, and elves, and humans, and
dragons, obviously.
And dragons.
There's like orc-like characters. They're called Urgles. So they're basically orcs.
It's tricky to summarize a whole series.
Yeah.
But I also explained that when I read a series close together, that it's just the same to me. Another
thing is what kind of sparks his adventure is like there's people looking for this dragon egg. And because it's chosen him, he's kind of being hunted. And because of that, he's kind of has to flee and learn how to become a dragon rider. So that's basically what kind of starts this whole journey. And that's what this whole series is about. Eragon and his journey to becoming a dragon rider and saving the world from the big bad dragon rider.
All right, let's get into the review.
Overall, I think it was a fun read. I would classify it as a very laid back read.
Yeah, expand on that.
It's not like a modern thriller, like there's action the whole entire time and you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. It's going to be a breeze to get through it because you're just on the edge of your seat, always needing to know what happens next. It's not one of those. It's definitely especially the first one it's enjoyable though, in terms of it's just, you're along for the ride, you're along for the journey, you're learning all of these things with Eragon. You're on an adventure with him, and there's not really a place you don't really know where you're going because Eragon doesn't really know. He just knows he's going somewhere, and he just needs to learn about dragons, about dragon riders, about him becoming a dragon rider, his relationship with this dragon. It's just,
you're along for a journey.
Yeah, you're along for a journey. You're living life with him. That's why I would say it's a laid back type of read. Red Rising, for example, I wouldn't say that it's a laid back. You're just living with them. It's very much a intense all the time.
One action sequence to another.
One action sequence to the next.
There's definitely peaks of action.
Yeah.
And then I guess valleys of action. I don't know, like where there's not much action going on, but you're really getting to know the characters and the world. And I see what you're saying. Not a super fast paced.
Yeah. I mean, I think I described Stephen King that way too at times, where it's just a laid back, chill. You're just hanging out. It's very like detailed and slow paced, but then when it picks up,
Yeah.
Type thing. So
yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's weird because I flew through the first Eragon, and it is just a whole journey. There's things that happen, obviously, but it's a slow burn.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of the story where the characters are just traveling from one place to another. A lot of the story is told during travels, which, yeah, I think maybe that's part of the reason that it reminds me of The Lord of the Rings. But during those times is when you really learn the details of the world.
Yeah, I would describe at least the first book. If you've read The Lord of the Rings, just a whole book on the Sam and Frodo timeline, if that makes sense. That pacing in terms of the intensity of the story, it's super slow. You're just on a journey, hanging out, camping, sitting with them. You're not you're in a war, but like it's not like the other Fellowship who are just fighting and battles everywhere. It's a very slow, meticulous journey, and things come up, but you're just hanging out with Sam and Frodo, which I loved.
Yeah,
that's why I love the Two Towers, because the second half of the Two Towers, so good. You're just hanging out. But I would say that that's kind of the similar feel to Eragon, the first one at least.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that in like pieces of that in all of the books in the series. I think there are elements of that.
Except Eldest.
I think even in Eldest, I think that is the beginning of Eldest. It really is a fun coming of age story because Eragon is introduced to a wide spectrum of mentors who train him, right? But he really gets to decide who he's going to be. And so you get to walk with him as he matures, as he grows up, as he goes through all of these trials and just how it shapes him as a character. It's interesting as well because the author of the series, when he wrote the books, I don't know how old
really young.
Yeah.
Like a teenager.
Yeah, not 20 yet for sure. I don't remember exactly how old. We looked it up when we were reading them because you can tell that the writing is not mature, especially in the beginning of the series. I mean, as the series progresses, the writing progresses as well. Yeah. And so you wouldn't know just picking up the books that a teenager wrote the first one and that he's maturing as well as this character's maturing and going through all of these things. But it's kind of a cool, the storytelling matures as the character matures in the story, which is kind of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's funny. I forgot about that because you warned me about that when we first started reading, is that he was a really young teenager when he first wrote it, and you can kind of tell in the first one. And it was nice to know that ahead of time because when I did stumble upon those things, I wasn't like, wow, okay, like this is ridiculous. It was like I had a lot more grace reading it, and it was just a funny like, oh cool, that's because he was 12. No, I'm just joking. He wasn't 12, but he was young. But yeah, that is good to know if you're an adult going back and reading Eragon, is that he was not an adult when he wrote it.
Yeah, just had some maturing to do. And he did mature as the series progressed, and I still think it's a great story.
It is really good.
Maybe predictable at times.
Maybe. Not all of it, though.
Maybe I felt that it was predictable this time because I had read it before.
In your subconscious, you knew, but you just didn't know in your upfront conscious.
Yeah, so I had a lot of really good guesses, but maybe they weren't fully guesses because I kind of knew what was going on. But yeah, so maybe I was unique in that. Yeah.
But I will say one thing I really enjoyed about the books is the magic system in general. I thought he did. It was unique. It's weird because it seems so basic and so simple and stupid, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's unique. It wasn't. So basically what the magic system is there's this ancient language, and it's called the ancient language. He was a teenager when he wrote this.
Sometimes keeping things simple is good.
Yeah, and so it's just an ancient language, and It's not spoken anymore, but the language itself has magic around it.
Well, every word in the language is the true name of whatever you say.
Yeah, well, that's what there's magic in the language, but you have to speak this secret language, the ancient language, to do the magic things, but the language itself is magical in the sense that, one, you can't lie in the ancient language. Like, you can't. It's not physically possible to lie in that language. And two, everything has true names, which is not your actual name. So like this sofa is not sofa. It's has a name in the ancient language. And when you use it, you can do things. So like, I don't know, make the couch fly in the air. You basically say like couch fly or whatever, or throw, something like that in the ancient language, and it has to obey and do it. But the thing is it takes, like, the amount of energy it would take for you to take the couch and throw it is the amount of energy it drains out of you to do it with magic as well.
Yeah, I like the element of the magic that it has a cost. That it's not just I don't know, magic like in Harry Potter, you just have to know
the spell,
and then you can
have the skill enough to do it or something.
Yeah, and you can do all of these fancy things, but in this one it's really he ties it back to your physical strength.
Yeah, and it can kill you.
Yeah, if you overdo it, and once you commit to something, you can't break it.
Yeah.
Is the other piece. And so if you want to lift an elephant, and if you say lift up this elephant, and
you obviously can't.
You can't, because you're not strong enough to lift an elephant. The effort behind trying to achieve what you just said to do will kill you, snuff you.
Yeah. And every person has a true name. So Gabby is not Gabby. It's like her true name in terms of like what kind of person she really is. And you say that in the ancient language, and now I have control over Gabby. So that is you want to keep your real true name in the ancient language. You want to keep that under wraps, because anyone who knows that has full control over you. Yeah. They just say your ancient name, your real name, your true name, and say, bow to me. You have to bow, because it was said in the ancient language. And so that has a whole lot of implications and stuff in the series. So that whole system was really good.
Yeah, that whole system was really good. And like a lot of the politics in the book are interesting, because you have Galbatorix, who's an immortal dragon rider who's been reigning for like 100 years now. And you have this rebellion group who obviously they don't like the dragon rider king. But this rebellion group is made up of multiple races, right? You have dwarves and elves and humans, and they're just different. And so you have these different races who are trying to accomplish the same goal, but they don't always think through things the same way. And so he goes through like different, what's the word I'm looking for? The politics, the politics around it, right? It's not a clear cut, because we have the same goal. Obviously, we're all going to like agree about how we're going to accomplish it.
Yeah. I will say that in terms of reading through the books, I flew through Eragon. Eldest was rough, in my opinion. It took me a while to get through Eldest. I blew through Eragon in like a week, which for me is flying through a book. And Eldest took me a solid month, probably, or more. It was just, So Eragon is slow. The first book is slow, but it's enjoyable slow. Eldest, it's just goes way down in terms of like you're in molasses, I feel like. And I think that's, I feel like I'm not alone in that though. I think I've seen people say that Eldest is just kind of rough.
Yeah, it's not as engaging for sure at the beginning.
I will say though, once the climax of Eldest starts, it's like smooth sailing from then on till the end of the series.
I feel like, if I remember right, I thought it picked up about halfway through. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. But
I literally didn't think it picked up to the last like 100 pages.
Well, there's not much action until the very end.
Yeah. Well, but until that action starts, it's very, very rough. But then once the action starts in Eldest, then it's just the rest of the series is so good. Like I flew through Brizinger and Inheritance. Flew through them like a week apiece, maybe less. But Eldest, it was rough.
Yeah. It definitely slowed down, but I enjoyed it. I didn't feel the same drag that you felt.
Yeah, some people might.
Yeah,
but
I think if you really like action, that'll be a really hard
some
portion for you.
Yeah, some people will still enjoy Eldest. For me, it was rough. It was just rough.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any more points?
Yeah, and it's a fun cast. We can go into more specifics later, but it's just a really fun cast of characters. I mean, it's a kid's book, and I feel like that's for more younger. Like, it's not even kids. It's more like teen
to young adult. I feel like is
teen-ish, like preteen, young teen books, I would call them.
Yeah.
And I feel like to have a successful adventure type, that you have to have a really like diverse and fun cast of characters, and they definitely have that in this series. So I thought that was really enjoyable. We kind of already touched on this, but who would you say it's for?
I think definitely like middle school up, I'd say. I think adults would really enjoy it too.
I do think that it's one of those that is good for adults as well.
Yeah, just because it's a good story.
Like all the best kids books are just great stories. Right. That are ageless in terms of, doesn't matter what age you are, you would enjoy it. And I feel like this is one of those series that it doesn't have a limit in terms of a preteen or young teenager would really enjoy reading this series. And I do think, especially if you're trying to, someone who is in my spot of doesn't have a ton of reading stuff under the belt, they're still trying to build up that practice, and you're wanting something easier to read but still a fun world and journey, this is solid. So solid choice, even for someone who's been reading a lot. If you want something that's a little slower paced, more relaxed of a read, but still in a fantasy world that's a little more lighthearted
and still intricate.
Yeah, this is solid. It's really good.
Yeah, really. Anyone who can read it, I think, would be good to read it.
Yeah. Ratings. Do we want to give ratings for the whole series or each individual book?
I want to do the whole series because, like I said, we would need to cut, and you'd need to remind me like the exact events where each book breaks.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the whole series then.
Yeah, let's do the whole series.
You first.
This is tricky because honestly, like when I wrote my rating down, I was just thinking of the first book, Eragon. I don't know why. But I think overall, I know I just said like the series overall, but I have a rating for the first one. So I wrote down 3.75, but I want to give it 4, I think.
Yeah.
I think my final answer is 4. Why? Because my gut is saying 4.
What did you have just for Eragon?
I think that was 3.75.
Oh, 3.75.
Yeah. Because of the maturity of the writing
Yeah.
There were times where the story was really good as I was reading it, but I was taken out of the story when I should have been engrossed in the story because of the writing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I gave that 3.75. But I think overall, I would definitely give it a 4, the series as a whole. Yeah, it's not my absolute favorite series in the whole entire world. Like, I'm not sitting here thinking about it all the time. Like, if I'm going to bring up a book, I don't know that it's necessarily the first series or books that I would bring up, even though I think it was just like the perfect series for us to start with because of the engagement, the world. I think it was just a perfect fit for this situation this time around. And I've read it multiple times, so maybe I should go higher. No, I think it's still 4.
Yeah.
I think it's still 4. Obviously, it was forgettable for me.
After 15 years.
Yeah, but I mean,
reading it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, it's still 4. If I can think through more reasoning why I want to give it 4, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But my gut just says 4. Like, I liked it. I would recommend it to people, but it's not a 5-star read for me. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.25.
I don't know why you decided to do these quarter points, but
It just helps. I'm an indecisive person. It makes it easier, you know? Like, sometimes when I'm going to park,
having to commit.
Yeah, but sometimes even when I go to park at a parking lot,
Oh my goodness.
it's hard for me to choose where to park. And so having more options, I guess usually having more options makes it harder to decide. So maybe I shouldn't have done the quarter system, but that's why I did the quarter system. Anyways, 4 stars for the series. Final answer. What's yours?
You need to think this stuff through.
Well, I had it thought through, but that was like 2 weeks ago.
I guess that's true. It has been a while.
And I didn't have the notes.
You didn't write it down?
Well, I did. But at the time, I thought that I only needed it the next day. And so I was like, I'll remember that. That's fine.
Oh, man.
So this is me verbally processing. This is how I process.
Yeah.
What's your rating?
Mine was a 4. So I've mentioned this before, but my kind of thing is it's a 4 and higher is I'll read it again and soon. Like, if you told me that I need to read Eragon again tomorrow, I'd be all for it as my next series to read it again. And so 4 and higher is like, I'll read it again fairly soon. I won't need to wait 10 to 15 years to where I forget most of the story for me to be interested in reading again. Basically, 4 and up for me is if I have no idea what to read next, would I gravitate towards this series as an option? And I think it would be yes. It's I really enjoy it. So I think 3.5 is I would recommend someone else read it. I think you'd enjoy it, but like, I read it and I'm good. I might go back to it later, but I'm good. And then 3 is, yeah, you can read it. It's good, but it's like, whatever. And then below is whatever. But the whole series as a whole, solid 4 for me. I totally have it as in my back pocket to pull out and read whenever. So eldest, if I had to do eldest specifically, I'd put that one at like a 3 or a 2.5. Like, it's just, but the climax is so good and it just takes off. The whole series takes off from there. So it's tough, but the series as a whole, 4, eldest 3 or 2.5.
Yeah, I think 4 is a good
Yeah.
rating.
So
That's what my gut says.